In order for there to be transformation in commerce, there must be a transformation in the agents thereof. Who are the agents of commerce? People engaged in the exchange of property, products, services, information, communication, ideas, views, attitudes, and love, i.e., everyone. In every commercial transaction, two roles are created, a creditor and a debtor. The roles shift moment to moment. The creditor in any moment is, in that moment, in control of the contract or trust governing the relationship. The debtor in any moment is, in that moment, bound by an obligation to the creditor. An option that every creditor has in such a contractual relationship is the option to forgive the debt, duty, liability, or obligation of the debtor. Therefore, I assert that a creditor that forgives all debts the moment they are incurred is what I call a sacred creditor. A sacred creditor seeks to honor all contracts and make all parties to any transaction whole, and seeks to resolve the issues of others. A sacred creditor has an intimate knowledge of the principles of contract and law, and the maxims thereof, and applies these principles in all commercial transactions. A sacred creditor interprets experiences and manifests intentions, communications, and actions from love, and discharges any and all fears. A sacred creditor is willing to sacrifice or risk for the benefit of another. A sacred creditor lives and acts by the prime directive of, I am here to serve and honor all. A sacred creditor doesn't take a position and doesn't make judgments. The principles of being a sacred creditor have been applied to bring peace and harmony to relationships. By applying the knowledge of the contractual nature of personal relationships to unresolved issues between individuals, balance has been achieved by recognizing that a contract exists, making distinctions of the terms, and negotiating terms for settlement. Individuals acting in the capacity of a sacred creditor have created an experience of peace and abundance. These principles have been successfully applied on several occasions by numerous individuals to bring remedy, settlement, and closure for outstanding obligations, debts, duties, and liabilities by expressing a new contract under terms established through counteroffer. Individuals who believed there was no remedy for their situations created a remedy of their own design for a specific issue. Obligations from credit card debt to criminal charges have been settled with the formation of a contract. Individuals with the belief that they didn't have the power or authority to create the outcome or results they desired have completely shattered those beliefs by merely acting in the capacity of a sacred creditor. In order to truly live a life of absolute freedom and limitless possibilities, this question must be considered. Is life the fulfillment of contracts? If so, what power do we yield in the authoring of these contracts? The answers to these questions are of paramount significance. If all is not by consent and agreement and of our own authorship, would that not place us in a state of bondage as victims to this life and the experience thereof? However, if all is by consent and agreement and of our own authorship, would that not place us in a state of unlimited power, absolute freedom, limitless possibilities, ultimately responsible for this life and the experience thereof? In exploring the nature of law, contract, and trust, it appears clear that all transactions are by consent and agreement. The question is there any facet of our experience that is outside law and contract? If we are not the authors of the contract, who is? If credit card debt and criminal charges can be resolved by merely authoring an agreement for the resolution, can war and poverty not be overcome through the application of the same principles? If life is the fulfillment of contracts, and we are the authors of these contracts, are we authoring the contracts in such a way as to create peace and abundance in our society? Is there not peace and abundance in our society? If our interpretation of the experience of society is contrary to one of peace and abundance, can we transform that experience with methods and techniques aligned with the distinctions of transformation discussed earlier and the expanded awareness that we are authoring the contracts that constitute our experience? Is it not practicable to apply the distinctions of transformation in such a way as to expand the awareness of a portion of society, a critical mass, and endow this critical mass with the knowledge of the intricacies of contract, empowering this critical mass to rewrite the contracts of the present paradigm in such a way as to create peace and abundance? Individuals acting in the capacity of a sacred creditor have experienced being author of their life. A sacred creditor first stands in the being of the author and ultimate authority of their life and chooses to interpret their experience as the one at cause and responsible for their experience. A sacred creditor then sets an intention to live and act by the principles of being a sacred creditor. A sacred creditor then declares what it is they wish to create and experience and follows this declaration and commitment with whatever courses of action it takes to manifest the outcome or results they have committed to. In order for the sacred creditor to achieve this, they must also develop an awareness of their thoughts, language, and behavior, and develop a set of practices which serves in their growth and the creation of new thoughts, communications, and behaviors. So,